Okay, you guys, so we're on song number 3, ADHD. Let's see what this one's like. I'm very interested to see what the lyrical content is on this one. I'm excited. Okay, y'all, let's see what he's talking about.
Fuck that. 8 doobies to the face.
Oh, I've heard this.
12 bottles.
It's been a long time. It's been a long
I
time.
love how airy and atmospheric this part is. Like the beat.
Yeah. It's kind of.
Fuck that. 2 pills and a half weight, nigga. Fuck that.
Yeah.
High tolerance when your age don't exist. Man, I swear my nigga tripping off that shit again. Pick 'em up, then I set 'em in cold water. Then I order someone to bring 'em Vicodin. Hope they take the pain away from the feeling that he felt today. You know when you're part of Section 8 and you feel like no one can relate. Cause you are a loner, marijuana. Endorphins make you stronger. I'm in the house party, tripping off my generation. Sipping cough syrup, black as water. Never no pancakes in the kitchen, man.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god. I love that. Like, that little... Bro, I'm telling you, it's the little things. This is the type of stuff that makes me love artists. Bro, I don't know how to describe it, but when he does that little thing where like his background vocals like cutting in, and it's like he has that like triplet thing, bro. Like it really like sets the tone. It really sets the tone. And like, first of all, first lines, he's painting very vivid picture of like exactly what he's doing. So I love that, man. See, now I gotta run it back. That's like crack, chat. That's like crack.
Oh, from the beginning, you mean?
Yeah, no, not all the way. Just like 10 seconds back.
Okay.
You feel like no one can relate. Cause you are a loner, marijuana. Endorphins make you stronger. I'm in the house party, tripping off my generation. Sipping cough syrup.
See, chat. This is what I was talking about earlier. You hear how he has background vocals layered, and it's like him saying the exact same verse but in a higher pitch, but it's lower than his voice, though. It's not like louder. It's in the background, but it's just loud enough for you to hear the contrast between the verse on the main track and that. Just dynamic. That's all I can say.
I'm in the house party, tripping off my generation. Sipping cough syrup, black as water. Never no pancakes in the kitchen, man. Not one of our lives is caught up in the daily superstition that the world is about the end. Gives a fuck, we never do listen unless it comes with an 808. A melody and some house, PlayStation and some drink. Technology bump my soul. Looking around and all I see is a big crowd that's product of me, and it probably relatives relevant for a rebel stream. Yep, her president is black, she black. Purple label on her back, but that dab is like blue. She take it straight to the head, then she look at me. She got ADHD. 8 doobies to the face, fuck that. 12 bottles in the case, nigga, fuck that. 2 pills and a half weight, nigga, fuck that. Got a high tolerance when your age don't exist. Like whoa.
Don't gotta limit, just give me some more with it. Don't gotta limit, just give me some more with it. They always tell me ADHD did it.
And then she started feeling the stuff like no one else in this apartment. Beg your pardon, oh I rap, baby. How old are you? She say 22, I say 23. Okay, then we all crack babies. Damn, why you say that? She said, where my drink at? I'ma tell you later, just tell your neighbors and the police relax. I stood up, shut the blind, closed the screen, Jumbotron, made to the back where she reside. Then she said, read between the lines. Yep, hope that I get close enough when the lights turn down. And the fact that she just might open up when the new folks start to drown. Her body and I know the both of us really deep in the mood now. It's nothing we can do now. Somebody walked in with a pound of that Bay Area kush. She looked at me, then looked. Had it, then she grabbed it, then she said, get it understood. You know why we crack babies? Because we born in the 80s. That ADHD crazy. Hey, doobies.
Okay, what I'm trying to understand is the ADHD thing. Trying to understand, is it a metaphor? Is it direct? Does it stand for something else? Like, you know, we still got a minute left, but I'm just kind of absorbing like what he's saying. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep listening to it. We're almost done. What'd you say, Drip?
I said okay.
It's just crazy that I heard this song before, but like I like the I like this part where he's like, fuck that. Like, I remember that part, but I don't remember the stuff in between.
Fuck that, got a high tolerance when your age don't exist. Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Don't got a limit, just give me some more credit.
And you know that part, like when he's doing the whoa, 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 you know what it's making me think? It's making me think of like being, because he's talking about weed, he's talking about drinking. That's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like almost similar to like, makes you feel like a state of what someone is like maybe when they're drunk or when they're high. It's a little woozy, it's a little, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just gives a different feel to the song.
Right.
That's one thing that I'm getting from this.
Don't got a limit, just give me some more credit. They always tell me ADHD.
Double cup, deuce, 4, 6, chest, mix it and sprite it. Ecstasy, shrooms, blow,
Oh, and also hearing those 808s, I feel like this is like the transition of those 808s, this time period. So we were talking about this before, Drip, how the 808 sound kind of changed from like early 2000s. This sounds like somewhere in the middle of like early 2000s, and I mean it's literally right in the middle, right? It's like literally in the middle, you know. So at 2011, but it's interesting because it's not quite that early 2000s where it's like kind of just sharp. Like I don't know how to describe it, but you know what, it's like just different. It sounded different back then, but this sounds like a mixture.
Yeah, you'll hear more too on the album. Like it's definitely, you're right. You're right. It's definitely not the modern like Metro Boomin, ATL Jacob. You know, it's not that 808. It's a different one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
808 Mafia, all those guys. You know what I'm saying?
What's
Like
good, Mello?
it's
How
a
you doing,
different
fam?
808.
Yeah,
But,
right.
different. This sounds a little different, you know. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's funny because I'm like, it sounds like it's right in the middle, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's 2011, so it is right in the middle of like that era, but it's not
Yep.
that many songs. I mean, like current day, unless I go back to music from this time, I just haven't heard that sound in a minute, unless I would listen to like music from around this time. Which the only other music I can think of that I listen to with similar 808s would have to be some of Kendrick's music from this time. Or I would say J. Cole too, Born Sinner. That's probably an album that used it a little bit too. Because it was around, I think, 2011, 2012. Well, actually, that might have been 2013. So the drums were a little bit fresher on that one. But that is the last album I can remember from around this time that has those drums that aren't like the modern one. After about 2012, and to be fair, I'm still technically right because when they're producing the music, it's before it comes out. So while they were producing that Born Sinner album, it was probably still some of 2011, 2012, 2013 mixed in there.
Right.
So that's probably why it sounds like that too.
whatever you like. You can have all my shine. I will give you the light.
I love that little sound in the background. They don't be putting that in songs as much anymore. They don't be putting that in the
Sounds
song as
almost
much.
like-
It's
it
like
gives me
some
a
spaceship.
whale sounds vibe or something almost.
It makes me think of like spaceship or like outer space or like or like some Star Wars, or I don't know. It sounds like a something like that. But it's funny because this used to be in a lot of songs. I don't know exactly what they call it, but like that little sound at the end where it's like kind of trilling off, they will have that in a lot of songs around this time, but I don't really hear that used as much anymore, I don't think. So it's kind of cool though. That's what I love about music. Certain sounds are connected to certain times, and that's the type of stuff that makes it really nostalgic. But all in all, you know, let me pull up the lyrics. You know, all in all, just off the rip, you know, not reading the lyrics, this was a really good song. I really would like to know like what you think about the meaning of the song while I reread it. You know, maybe I can catch a few things that I didn't hear the first time.
Sure. You know, as far as the meaning of ADHD, it might actually be a different acronym than attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It might be something different. 'Cause, like, for example, there is a song on one of Kendrick Lamar's mixtape, awesome mixtape too. If y'all haven't heard it, go listen to it. I would highly recommend it. One of his best projects. Overly dedicated.
Hmm.
There's a song on there called ROTC.
Hmm.
Now, you might think that's like he's talking about the army or the military, right? But he's not talking about that because at the end of the song, he reveals the meaning of it. It actually means right on time conscience. So maybe ADHD does mean something in this particular context. But I like this song because now you've heard swimming pools, right? We talked about
Yeah.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
in swimming pools, he was talking about drinking and stuff like that, right? And he was not really that song is not about promoting drinking. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
actually about it's like a disapproval of it really. And I like that you see that here. This is kind of where it starts. Well, it doesn't start here, but this is one of the earlier times that you see it, with his projects. He talks about these, alcohol, drugs and stuff in this song. He's like, F that, like I don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I think that's a good message, and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the lyrics. He's talking about addiction, people using cough syrup. Think my brother's tripping off that shit again. Pick him up, then I set him in cold water. Then I order someone to bring him Vicodin. Hope that take the pain away. So that sounds like somebody that's going through withdrawal from
Mm.
something, some type of drug. Because so if someone reads this and they don't understand like addiction, they'll be like, why is he bringing him a Vicodin? Well, if someone's
That's
going through like a withdrawal, like sometimes they might have to like take the actual drug if um they don't have like something like Suboxone or professional help. They kind of got to get weaned off of the drug rather than just cutting off, because they'll go through a lot of different stuff with their body, like basically almost sick. So that's kind of what I think of when he says, then I set him in cold water, order someone to bring him
mm,
Vicodin right there. Hope that takes the pain away, because like people actually be in pain and like sick when they're if the withdrawal's bad enough. Yeah.
right.
So that's kind of what I was thinking right there. Talking about cough syrup. He said, I like this line too. He said, "Who gives a fuck? You never do listen unless it comes with. We never do listen unless it comes with an 808 and a melody and some hoes, PlayStation and some drink. Technology bought my soul." I like that because I think that's very. I feel like that represents a lot of people. Like he did say, we never do listen, and you know what? Like, hey, like he's right,
Mhm.
and that's what makes it so powerful, that he gets certain messages through his music, or even like anyone in music or hip hop, because that is the way to reach the masses. And I mean, that's right. Like if people not
That's-
vibing with it, there you can't. It falls on deaf ears a lot unless you can get through to them the right way.
yeah, that's a fact. Like, and sometimes too, like, the melody and stuff be so good that you miss it. People miss the
Mm-hmm.
message sometimes. Like, I think, even for like, there's that old Future song, um, called March Madness. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind gone. Dress
Mm-hmm.
it up and go to NASA. 100 miles on the dash. But on the hook, right? He say, um, all the money living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks, right? All this stuff, right? But then he say, cops shooting dudes tragic, right? He says that part too. So it's like
Mm.
that was kind of
I
deep right
never
there. It's
remembered
like,
that.
there's a lot of police violence and stuff like that being reported, on social media. But like, you know, the song is just so, vibey and hard and the
I've
beat goes
never
so
heard it.
crazy. Like, yeah,
Never
see, you
heard
missed
that
it too.
line in
So
there.
yeah, so people miss that. So sometimes it does get kind of overshadowed sometimes in the songs too. Like the artists really be trying to say something, but like people don't really hear it for some reason. Like
True.
matter of fact, I want to relate this experience too because I went to a J. Cole concert, right? It was on it was for it was the KOD that tour. And I remember that album, right? I like that album too. And
Yeah, Mello, we're doing a album review right now. Kendrick Lamar, Section 80.
you know, J. Cole is like trying to say, like, yo, bro, like, stay away from that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, don't medicate, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Type beat. It's, but at the show, there was people smoking weed all around me. Like, bro, like, y'all are completely missing the message of what J. Cole is trying to tell y'all. But, you know, yeah, that,
Nah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think also he did a good job in that album. First of all, I love the album. I don't know what the public's reception of that was. I loved it. It's not something that has like crazy replay value because it's meant artistically. It's just it's it's exactly what it presents itself to be. He gave everybody the three different meanings of it, and he talks about all that stuff. And he talks about the trauma that went into the people medicating, and he also talks about his journey with having to even get to a point where he could try to bring in meditation. So that's a funny thing though. You're like, he talk about don't do drugs, y'all over here smoking weed at the concert. Yeah, that's how it goes though.
well, welcome back, Barry. Yeah, we about to get into track song number 4. You did miss song 3, sorry, man.
Yeah, we're getting to song number 4, which is called No Makeup, Her Voice. But all in all, I like the ADHD song. But yeah, that's what I was trying to listen to see if it was direct reference to ADHD or if it was just like maybe just an acronym for something else, or maybe if it was just metaphorical in the sense that like he's using ADHD as a reference for something else. So I'm not sure. But I'm one of those people where I'm like, I don't feel like every song needs to have a perfect interpretation. I don't think, you know, I think sometimes it's just meant to make you think. So it doesn't even have to have a concrete definition for me. So let's see. We got another one called.
Well, let me say this real quick. Like, all right, I cheated a little bit, y'all. I cheated. All right, look. So
You
look,
cheated.
I'm looking at the Genius annotations or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So ADHD, attention deficit, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Some people believe it's like ADHD, like 80,
Oh,
right?
80.
80, right? So ADHD maybe, and they say some people
Ooh.
believe cocaine use in the 80s led to high prevalence of ADHD, the alpha delta HD, like that. Then they also have this
It's
one
kind of
too,
smart.
ADHD again with 80 HD, being from Section 80 housing projects, is a condition in itself that requires
Really?
medication. So it's like,
Mm.
huh. So
Well,
I
that's
don't know. It could
interesting.
be.
You know,
Also, I remember a person probably in YouTube comment section. I'm so sorry, dude. It's been so long. I don't remember your name, but shout out to you that made this comment. It stuck with me all this time. So on the chorus, right? He's like, 8 doobies to the face. F that, right? So the way he says it, right? He doesn't say F that. He's like F that, right? It's almost, you might interpret that as him saying like F thought, right? It's like F thought, F thought. It's like you taking these doobies to the face, forget my thoughts. I'm trying to drown them. I'm taking these
oh,
bottles, I'm trying to forget my thoughts. I'm trying to drown them. I'm taking these pills, I'm trying to drown my thoughts. Like, forget my thoughts.
right.
So I don't know. It maybe that's maybe a little stretch, but I like that. I always like that. That stuck with me when I saw it. I was like, huh, maybe, but nah, I don't know. It could definitely be a completely different meaning, but um, it's definitely some stuff, some kind of
I like
message
that.
in here. I'm sure he's trying to do.
I like that interpretation. That makes sense, especially like that ADHD with like that 80, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that like, hey,
Mhm.
get
Or
that win.
you know what? Matter of fact, yeah, like even more so like ADHD, like 80s in high definition, because like
That's what I was
he
thinking.
talks about, yeah, because he talks about the generation, his generation. He was born in the late 80s or whatever, right? So he's talking about his generation, Generation X, and also like millennial generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the stuff that they be doing, and the way they.
I'm good, Royal Lounge. How are you? Hey, Royal Lounge, that trade ID I gave you. I'm just saying, it cooked.
You're saying it makes more sense, conceptually, for the album too. Not to give too much away. So
How are you?
yeah. I think you actually might be right with
Or
that.
what about that? Or what about like
80s in high definition.
what about like ADHD, like as in like section 80, like section 80 HD, like because he's referencing like section 8, like section 8,
Oh.
section, and it could be like 80s in the section. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost he's referencing both.
It
The
could be
fact that
both,
we
yeah.
can,
It could
the
be
fact that we
a
can come up
triple, quadruple entendre. You
Right.
never know, like for real. it
exactly.
could.
That's the crazy part. Is like for him, it's not like out of the realm of possibility. So the fact that we can come up with all these interpretations off of this is the beautiful part about the music and the writing, because it could be all of these,
Yeah.
it could be none of them, but the fact that his music made us even think about it to this extent, I think it served its purpose.
Right. I love music that makes me think. Absolutely. Yes.
Same.